this video, Galactic Federation envoy Elena Danaan reveals a rare record with the Venusians. A 9-year-old girl born in France was kidnapped one day by the ruthless and malevolent alien Grey. Yes, this is a case of alien abduction. She was only 9 years old when Grey took her away. Grey inserted something called a hyperdimensional tracker into the back of her skull. The device called a hyperdimensional tracker is designed for remote monitoring. It emits a pulsed signal, which is then relayed to a base in Grey. This was part of a program to hybridize the Grey race. She was abducted in what is known as an alien abduction, and subsequently, she was rescued by kind-hearted extraterrestrials. It was then that her communication with various aliens began. Eventually, she was appointed as an ambassador of the Galactic Federation, and now serves as a messenger, sharing information about extraterrestrial beings through her interactions with them. Her name is Elena Danaan. This time, we will delve into the story of Elena Danaan, a woman who has had numerous unique experiences and is referred to as the Galactic Federation Ambassador. In this video, Galactic Federation envoy Elena Danaan reveals a rare record with the Venusians. Born in France and graduated from the University of Fine Arts in Paris, the archaeologist and was sent by the Centre National de la Recherche Scientifique in France to work as an Egyptologist. She also worked for a time as a shaman and energy healer. The content discussed here might feel like something out of a science fiction movie. A significant feature of Elena's communication with extraterrestrials is that it is not through channeling or remote viewing, but rather through direct experience via her own body. This is her documentary. However, the incredible stories continue. For those who don't know her yet, I recommend watching a sci-fi movie mindset. Just what was happening to her. Hello everyone. I would like to thank you for finding this video today. First, there is something I want to share with you. This video was edited by a Japanese person, myself. Driven by a strong desire to share the truth with all of you, I have taken on video editing. However, unfortunately, I am not very fluent in English. While I have strived to remain faithful to the facts in this video, there can sometimes be slight discrepancies when translating from Japanese to English. These might be differences in expressions or interpretations. There are times when things just don't turn out perfectly. If there are any incorrect expressions, I hope you can overlook them with a smile. Now let's get down to business. We will begin by pressing on from Elena's spiritual memory. From childhood to previous life, what experiences has she had? It goes back as far as she was indeed a person with mysterious abilities. Although it seems to be more commonly observed among children born in recent times, she is one of those who possess memories not only from when they were in the womb, but also from before entering it. Before entering her mother's womb, her ancestors showed her a vision from above, pointing out, "This is your mother," as her mother lay sleeping in bed. At that time, Elena's mother's belly was already slightly enlarged, around 4 to 5 months into her pregnancy. This has led Elena to believe that a human soul does not enter the body immediately after conception, but rather, the soul enters a few months into the pregnancy. Furthermore, when she was born and became able to speak, she shared her memories from before birth with her mother. I told him what kind of pajamas his mother wore and what kind of things she kept in the house. The mother was astonished that Elena had guessed so accurately. Furthermore, from a young age, she could see auras, ghosts, and spirits. She initially thought that everyone saw these things the same way. However, when she started talking about them after beginning school, she realized that only she could see them. At that time, she was quite shocked and began to realize, "I am different from others." The people around her were frightened, and even her school teachers looked at her with disapproval, creating an uneasy atmosphere around her. It was then that she first began to feel, "I must not talk to others about these things." Furthermore, she clearly remembers her past life memories. Elena Danahn has revealed that her ancestor was a person named Archelios, who was both a Norse pirate and a shaman. Even now, Archelios supports Elena Danahn as one of her guides, describing himself as a spirit existing within Earth's matrix. Her appearance is no different from that of an ordinary human. However, she also seems to emit an unmistakably mysterious aura. In fact, it is said that her lineage includes extraterrestrial DNA, and her grandmother was also abducted by aliens when she was a child. At that time, DNA manipulation was also taking place, and from there, that extraterrestrial DNA was passed down through generations to Elena Danaan. Her grandmother had spoken about her experience. It was later revealed that the DNA manipulation was performed by an extraterrestrial being named Anax. Anax is also the Galactic Father, whom Elena refers to as Starfather, residing on the planet Darius. He is a member of the Five Species Council, a positive council from the constellation of Orion, holding a high position. Elena describes him as a wonderful, loving presence. That DNA from him serves to protect Elena, and she is connected to Anax heart to heart, spirit to spirit. They communicate through the language of the heart or telepathy. Anax is very tall and he might somewhat resemble the Grey species, but Elena explains that he is entirely different from the Greys. Elena Danan's pre-reincarnation process began even before she came to Earth, and understanding the background that will be explained is essential to grasp her chosen mission and connection with extraterrestrial beings. According to her, this process is not just a simple reincarnation, but one undertaken to fulfill a specific purpose or mission. Furthermore, she recounts that according to her memories from before birth, she came from a planet called Era in the Pleiades star cluster. She explains that she had reincarnated on Earth several times in her past lives. However, in her most recent past life, she was on the planet Era, where she decided that she wanted to join a rescue mission for Earth. She then chose to leave her physical body on Era and reincarnate on Earth. What a bold idea. From here, I will explain the pre-reincarnation process based on Elena's memories. She lived aboard a certain mothership, and at one point she left her physical body and became a being of light. When you go to a certain place, there is a Stargate portal there. Anax is at that location, and Anax said to her, "Do not worry. Your bloodline has already been chosen and prepared. I will always support and protect you, so there is nothing to fear. I will accompany you throughout the entire process." With these gentle words, Anax reassured her. Then she entered the vortex of light through the Stargate portal alone. Next, she arrived at a place that resembled a room. There, she was greeted by the ancestors of her current lifetime's bloodline and exchanged greetings with them. Then the ancestor said, "You are about to enter your mother's womb. Are you ready?" With renewed determination, she entered her mother's womb and reincarnated on Earth. In other words, the general concept of reincarnation is that a person typically leaves their physical body upon death, and after some time, their soul inhabits a different body to be reborn. In her case, however, this was not so. She states that her original body still exists and is currently in a state of slumber within what is known as a stasis pod. As described so far, her soul temporarily left her original body to come to Earth and undertake a different mission. Once this mission is completed, she will return to her original body. After that, she will return to her life on the planet Era. It is said that the stasis pod, where her body is preserved, contains a green gel filled with all the necessary nutrients and substances. Her body is submerged in this gel for preservation. That body temporarily takes on an amphibian-like state. Furthermore, a membrane-like structure with a specific frequency is applied, sustaining life. She explains that her current body on Earth is merely an avatar. In other words, although Elena Danaan exists as a human on Earth, it might be said that she is a visitor who came from beyond Earth to provide assistance. So far, I have explained Elena's background and the purpose behind her reincarnation on Earth. Now let us return to the childhood abduction incident mentioned at the beginning. At the age of 9, Elena Danaan was abducted by the Grey species and had a device called a hyperdimensional tracker implanted at the back of her brain. She was fortunate as help arrived soon after. She was saved by Sohan Aledian and the crew of his spaceship, who had come from outer space. This figure, Thorhan Aredian, is an important individual who continues to maintain contact with Elena to this day. He is from the Ashara of the Pleiades star cluster of the Helar tribe, affiliated with the Galactic Federation, and he leads a fleet of 15 ships. Additionally, he is also a pilot of the spaceship, and at that time she said he truly looked like an angel. Those who rescued Elena Danaan took measures to disable the signal from the hyperdimensional tracker, before the Greys could discover the location of their spaceship. However, this task proved to be unexpectedly difficult. The device was embedded deep within Elena's brain, making its removal too dangerous. However, Thor-Han's medical team managed to hack the device and retune it to the frequency band of the Galactic Federation, which the Greys and Reptilians could not access. From that point on, the device was tuned to a safe frequency signal by benevolent extraterrestrials. Afterward, she returned to her normal life. During her teenage years, she frequently traveled to and from their spaceship, but at that time she kept it a secret and told no one. Time passed from there. One day, Elena Danaan began to feel a persistent pain in the area where the device had been implanted by the Greys. In the 1970s, due to the overwhelming discomfort, she underwent brain scans and examinations. However, nothing was found. At that time, the medical staff on Thor-Han's spaceship informed her, "This implant is hyperdimensional and cannot be detected by Earth's technology." However, within a few months, as Elena's energy aligned with the strong frequency signal of the device, her headaches gradually disappeared. Several years later, when Elena was 18 years old, she began to hear a certain voice in her head for the first time. It felt as if a nail had been driven into her head, accompanied by a low buzzing sound that vibrated around her skull. This strange phenomenon, where she could hear some kind of voice, filled Elena with such intense fear that she clutched her head and collapsed to her knees. At that moment, she heard a click sound. Then a youthful and energetic voice began to speak.
"Don't worry, I'm just doing a bit of tuning."
The energetic voice speaking to her was that of Thor-Han Eridion, the extraterrestrial who had saved her that day. From this moment on, Thor-Han taught Elena how to activate the device, allowing her to contact him at will. Since that day, she has been able to communicate freely with Thor-Han. This device allows Thor-Han to monitor Elena, but he is not constantly observing her. For instance, when Elena experiences emotions such as fear, the device automatically sends a signal to Thor-Han, which he can then detect. From that day on, Elena was protected by Thor-Han Eridion. This device utilizes quantum technology for telepathic communication and, unlike channeling, it is based on technology. Elena and Thor-Han developed their own unique method of communication. This method involves Thor-Han conveying messages to Elena through visions that she can see. The reverse is also possible. Thor-Han can see visions through Elena's eyes when she wants to convey something to him. No matter where they are, they can instantly show each other visions whenever they wish to do so. It is an astonishing method of communication. When they close their eyes, the visions appear on the inside of their eyelids. Additionally, when they are connected telepathically, they can hear everything the other is hearing and perceive the entirety of each other's surroundings. So far, I have provided a brief explanation of how she established a connection with the Galactic Federation. But what exactly is the Galactic Federation? Many people might say, "I've at least heard the name before." Now let's delve into what the Galactic Federation is, as described by Elena Danaan.
The greatest gift in my life was getting to know the pilot of the spaceship. Thor-Han Eridion, who saved me when I was a child, belongs to the Galactic Federation and commands 15 fleets. Those who follow New Age social media channels might have heard the term Galactic Federation of Light. However, in reality, no such entity by that name exists. It is simply an interpretation of an entity known as Ora Nataru Shari. They are an alliance of advanced civilizations that was formed long ago with the purpose of maintaining peace, justice, and balance within the galaxy. The Galactic Federation has a primary mission within this star system. Their mission includes raising awareness among Earth humans about the destruction of Earth society by extraterrestrial races and exposing the corrupt organizations that collaborate with these enemies. Additionally, they conduct various benevolent activities such as monitoring extraterrestrial threats and invasions, undoing mind control, and rescuing abducted individuals. They turn their attention to a small blue planet on the outskirts of this galaxy, Earth. This was because the Andromeda Council had foreseen a catastrophic future if immediate assistance was not provided. Since then, the Galactic Federation has been helping us avoid fatal situations.
This is what she conveyed. As a specific example, she mentioned that the Galactic Federation has protected us from catastrophic threats by neutralizing missiles and nuclear weapons. According to Elena Danaan, this is the true nature of the Galactic Federation. Furthermore, while we humans may not have the opportunity to see them in person, she clearly and publicly asserts that they are not spiritual beings, but rather a physical alliance that truly exists. Regarding the Andromeda Council mentioned earlier by Elena, it is also an alliance of extraterrestrial species. It is primarily composed of members known as the Xenai, an advanced technological alliance tasked with the role of liberating Earth. Now we will touch on the figure known as Valiant Thor, who is said to have come from Venus in the 1950s. To briefly explain Valiant Thor, he is said to be a figure who appeared in the United States in the 1950s, met with President Eisenhower, and collaborated with the US President and government officials. Through Elena's accounts, the true nature of Valiant Thor has become clearer. Since 2020, Elena Danaan has remarkably met with Valiant Thor 3 times and even conducted interviews with him. Moreover, she has been invited to his home on Venus. From here, we will present the valuable records of Elena's contact with the Venusian Val Thor. December 2020. At that time, the future was still uncertain, and humanity on Earth was striving to overcome an era marked by profound challenges. This period was at a point where 2 timelines could diverge, one leading to destruction and the other to a future of dawn. It was such an unstable time that even the slightest shift could sway it in either direction. One night in December 2020, Elena was working late at her desk. Suddenly, she felt the familiar pulse signal from her implant. She smiled, leaned back in her chair, and closed her eyes. Then, after a click sound, Thor Han's voice resonated.
I have a surprise for you. Will you come? I have good news. It's about the person you said you wanted to make contact with.
Elena's heart started to race at those words. However, at that moment, Thor Han did not reveal who she would be making contact with. Elena relaxed her body and prepared for the transfer. Guided by swirling light, she traveled beyond Earth and arrived at one of the Galactic Federation's cloaked orbital stations, a military base. There, Elena was materialized and appeared in a completely white room. It was teleportation. According to Elena, when engaging in physical contact, there are 2 methods for moving the body from the ground to a spacecraft: teleportation or transfer via an anti-gravity beam. Although a detailed explanation will be omitted this time, these methods enable a person to disappear from one place and instantly reappear in another. When she appeared in the pristine white room of the military facility, it took her a few seconds for her eyes to adjust to the intense light. Her molecular structure reorganized, adapting to the density of that location. 2 men were standing there. Due to the strong light, their figures could not immediately be seen clearly, but one of them was a handsome man with dark brown hair, hazel eyes, and dressed in a white uniform. The man approached, took Elena's hand, and said,
"It is an honor to meet you, Elena. I am Commander Val Thor."
Yes, this man was none other than Valiant Thor, also known as the Brave Thor. At that moment, she was so overwhelmed that she could hardly believe it. When she shook his hand, her first impression was that she immediately felt his kindness, calmness, and the peace he radiated. Elena's interview revealed that his true name is not Valiant Thor, but Val Thor. The other man was Val Thor's brother, a person named Dan. Elena said, even if the 2 of them were walking through a town on Earth, no one would ever suspect that they were extraterrestrials. Thus Val Thor said, "I will answer Elena's questions," and she was given the opportunity to conduct an interview. According to Val Thor, "The reason I agreed to answer Elena's questions was because Commander Thor Han had informed me that someone wanted to make contact. However, as I was on a mission on Earth, I initially did not pay much attention to it. Later, I came to understand who Elena was and decided to answer her questions," he explained. What did Val Thor reveal to Elena during this interview? From here, I will share part of what transpired during that moment.
Do you visit Terra often?
I work on your planet to help people. In fact, officially, I am still on a mission. I have been coming and going for several decades, but I no longer make contact with the general public on Earth. I have stopped trying to communicate individually with Earthlings. This is because, well, things have become more sensitive. You are becoming more aware of our presence than ever before. I work directly with the US government. As an ambassador of the Galactic Federation, I provided valuable knowledge and assisted in launching secret countermeasure programs between the United States and other nations. These efforts aim to enhance Earth's defense capabilities and liberate humanity from the enslavement imposed by the alliance of the Chiakaher and Nebu. It was a long journey. At that time, I met with President Dwight D. Eisenhower. He was a man of integrity who understood well what was happening, but he was not in a position to act freely. He was constrained by his own government. Dwight deeply regretted the unfortunate situation that had unfolded. The military-industrial complex made decisions behind his back, took advantage of him, and made agreements with Gray and the reptilians without his consent. This included agreements with Syakar, Mitra, and Neb. At that time, I went to Russia in search of someone who would listen and understand. For a while, I worked for Russian intelligence and provided extensive information on the various galactic races. You people needed to know who were allies and who were enemies. The KGB created secret files based on the information I provided, and I know that you have obtained copies of them. Parts of these documents were leaked and made public. However, you are not yet prepared for the terrifying reality that aggressive species were already present on this planet.
Then, does this mean that the information leaked in the KGB's book about extraterrestrial species originated from you?
Most of it, yes. I provided the same data to the US government, as well as to the governments of France and Japan, which I also visited.
Are you working alone, or do you have more allies here on Earth?
There are many cloaked spacecraft on Terra. I am not the only ambassador of the Galactic Federation working to guide the people of Terra in a positive direction.
As Elena conversed with Valiant Thor, who spoke in such a steady voice, she suddenly experienced a surge of strong emotions. It felt like a channeling experience, connecting not with herself, but with the souls of billions who were plunged into despair and confusion. What was she connecting with? It was the collective unconscious of the Earth's human race. This was an unprecedented sensation, believed to have been triggered by Val's presence. Elena trembled from the overwhelming flow of emotions, nearly brought to tears. Placing her hand over her heart, she said with a quivering voice,
"When will you stand before humanity and reveal yourselves openly? Why won't you do so? People need signs, they need hope. People need to believe, and to believe, they need signs, they need proof. They need physical, visual proof that you are helping us. They need hope, they need to believe."
At that moment, she covered her face with both hands and wept. These were not her tears, but the tears of humanity. Valiant Thor leaned forward and placed his hand gently over hers. Then, in a very gentle voice, he spoke.
You carry the heart of humanity within you. You are speaking on their behalf. Your words move me deeply, because this is the truth, and I find it so powerful and beautiful.
Please, I am asking on behalf of humanity. We need a sign. We need to witness your spacecraft. Give us proof. I beg you, please.
In time, it will happen. The people of Terra are not yet ready. The evidence you seek will come at the appropriate time. We cannot show ourselves just yet. If we were to do so now, it would ruin the operations we are currently conducting with the Galactic Federation.
Then, where are we headed? Could you tell me, please?
That is your choice.
Our choice is clear. Humanity wants to be free.
Terra is already moving in the right direction. The true value of your technological achievements, which have been hidden until now, will soon be revealed. Do not worry. Your future is bright. The consciousness of your species is trying to pass through the darkest part of the night. Before awakening from a long slumber, you are merely walking through the darkness before dawn. You are confused, but have trust and faith. We are running alongside you, holding your hand, and heading together to the other side of this night. In time, you will reach it. We will never let you down. Not now, not ever. We will never let you down. When you are in the darkest night, we hold your hand. And now, you are in the moments before dawn.
Val Thor spoke these words not just to Elena, but to the collective unconscious of humanity. Afterward, Valiant Thor revealed the following about himself.
I have a wife, 2 sons, and 2 daughters. They are on the planet Nara, which you call Venus, the evening star. We have an outpost there. You are more than welcome to visit. I am also of the Tal race from the Man system. My ancestors have lived on Venus for a long time, so we call ourselves the Nari, which means Venusian. I was born on Venus. It is my home.
Thank you. I am deeply honored by your invitation, Commander.
Elena respectfully bowed to Commander Val, greeted him, and while shaking his hand, expressed her gratitude once again for meeting with her.
I look forward to seeing you again soon. Venus is just a few seconds away from this station.
With those words, she was invited to Venus, and later, Elena would indeed visit the planet. Thus, the first interview concluded, and upon returning home, Elena opened her computer and documented the experience while her memory was still vivid. Venus is a planet located next to Earth and is often referred to as Earth's twin. Its environment is considered very different from Earth's and extremely harsh, but there are records explaining how Val Thor resides on Venus. However, that is a story for another time. Hearing the story about Val Thor might make them sound like saviors of humanity. Elena spoke about them in this way.
The Galactic Federation helps us avoid catastrophic situations. However, they cannot take our place when it comes to personal growth and the evolution of consciousness. Their esteemed law of non-interference is not just a rule, it is an ethic that respects free will. Any civilization or being must evolve by reaching a higher level of consciousness, as this is something no one else can do on their behalf. They are not here to save us. They are here to support us in saving ourselves. If they physically intervene, they could wipe out all evil on Earth in one day. But then humanity would not be able to learn its lessons and grow, and until the child matures, the universe will continue to provide further challenges. Moreover, if they were to openly start a war with regressive extraterrestrials using Earth as the battlefield, it could result in catastrophic damage to the planet. The people of the Galactic Federation are brave and dedicated unsung heroes who fight to protect our planet from the threat of harmful extraterrestrial beings. They are physically involved with many government white hats, fighting against the deep state on the ground, underground, and in the skies. We are in the midst of a war. This is a terrifying war, the greatest and final war for the freedom of humanity. Fortunately, we have powerful allies like them on our side. They are real physical beings equipped with interdimensional technology. They are also working to elevate human consciousness. The Galactic Federation exists as a physical alliance of united civilizations. They are not spiritual, mystical organizations defined by lights in the sky. They are just beings much like us, born in different places, with different appearances, and using different technology. They do not want us to see ourselves as inferior beings, worship gods, or kneel at their feet in reverence. Now is the time for humanity to stand on its own, to assert its sovereignty, and to mature as beings of the galaxy and other dimensions. It is time to stop believing that we are inferior, whether in religious, social, political, or spiritual aspects.
You who have just heard this may have felt something resonate within you. I shared this because it is an important message from Elena Danaan and the Galactic Federation. With that, we have provided a detailed explanation about Elena and Val Thor. Now I have an announcement to share. On November 15, 2024, Elena Danaan, the special envoy of the Galactic Federation featured in this discussion, will visit Japan. This will take place at an event titled the Galactic Festival, hosted by Miyoko Sano, and held in Ginza, Tokyo. It is said that on this day, Thor Han-Eredion, the High Commander of the Galactic Federation, will join through Elena's device. There will also be a Q&A session, so anything could happen. It promises to be an exciting major event. If you are interested, I will include a link to the ticket application page in the description below, so please check for available seats. As mentioned earlier, Elena has confessed that during her childhood she was considered an odd child and was bullied for talking about interdimensional experiences with those around her. Even now, sharing stories that deviate so far from common beliefs might invite criticism from the public. In fact, she has reportedly faced dangerous situations multiple times in the past. Yes, in any era, those who possess true knowledge of the universe become targets. However, she continues to share information that we would otherwise never know without yielding to such pressure. I call her the brave Elena Danaan. Whether you can attend the venue or not, let us welcome her not with reverence, not as an extraterrestrial nor as a foreigner, but as a courageous messenger and friend. We, the Japanese people, wish to warmly receive her. The video presented here is primarily based on the following author, Elena Danaan, from We Will Never Let You Down. A link to the book is included in the description below. Please take a look at it if you are interested. For those who would like to read it in Japanese, please consider The Kind-Hearted Extraterrestrials, translated by Miyoko Sano. A link to this book is also available in the description below. Finally, I will introduce a video that is said to show an authentic Galactic Federation spacecraft. The setting is Japan over Mount Fuji. This footage is said to have been taken when Elena visited Japan in May before her lecture. At that time, the footage was taken at the studio of a musician who is a friend of Elena and Miyoko Sano, located at the foot of Mount Fuji. While listening to music in this studio, as usual, Thorhan's voice could be heard.
Look outside right now.
Upon hearing those words, they looked out the large window. A spaceship emerged from the crater at the top of Mount Fuji, moving right, then left, and disappearing intermittently. They captured this strange movement on video. According to Elena, this is a reconnaissance craft from the Galactic Federation, and Mount Fuji is home to a Galactic Federation base called the ARC. You can watch this video on the 2 YouTube channels run by Miyoko Sano and Elena. Thank you very much for watching until the end. I appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving it a like, and sharing it. See you again in the next video.